Hey, what is up everyone? Professor Danny and Alex. In this Jiu-Jitsu tutorial, we're going to be looking at the techniques of the close guard, as well as getting your triangle choke and getting the 2-on-1 control with the sleeves and attacking and sweeping from there. So check it out. All right, so what is the triangle choke? So basically, we've done videos on the triangle before, but if you're starting out in Jiu-Jitsu, it's always basically every time you have one arm inside your guard and one arm is out from your opponent, all right? So Alex, being the guard passer, he wants to make sure that there's a cardinal rule in Jiu-Jitsu where you want two arms inside the guard or two arms outside the guard, so underneath the legs as such, all right? You don't want to be caught with one arm out and one arm in as such. So for example, if I had this position here, at any given moment that one arm goes inside the legs, now it's imperative for me to actually, that's the trigger point for me to actually try and get that triangle position. All right, so the triangle choke basically is going to be every time you insist on bringing one arm out of your legs, or maybe the opponent's trying to make that, or I should say the opponent makes the mistake of pummeling one of his hands inside, and now you're going to capitalize on catching him with one arm inside like this, okay? So now, from this position, what we want to do is understand the basic details of finalizing this triangle choke. So the first thing I want to do is always make sure the arm is crossed to the opposite side. So notice how I raise my hips off the mat so I can create some space here to drive the arm on the opposite side. When I sink my hips back down, now the pressure of his body weight and the squeeze of my legs are going to keep his arm in position. Now, it's going to be important for me to try to control the posture. So I like to use both hands on his head because now I'm going to uncross my legs. When I do so, it's going to prevent him from posturing up. The second thing I want to do is also post onto his hip. Most people will post on the mat, but that creates enough gap for him to pull the arm out of there. So by posting onto his hip, it keeps my thigh and my knee connected to his body and his shoulder, and now keeps everything synced in nice and tight. And now from here, I'm going to reach over and grab my own ankle. So notice how this hand is still controlling the head. So now I go grab my own ankle here, now I can let go, okay? Now I'll drive my palm to my knee so it doesn't stack me. And look, I'll bring this leg across and over my ankle to finalize the triangle choke. Okay, so those are the basic details of this submission. Now, I have two small drills for you guys to practice. The first one is always grabbing the wrist as such. And now what we're going to do from the close guard position is drive one arm against his chest, unlock my guard, and now lock over the shoulder. Now I'll restart the position and do the same thing on the opposite side, unlock my guard and relock over the shoulder once again. Now this is just a coordination drill, so you learn to bring your leg over the shoulder before you start attacking the triangle choke from here as such. This is a beginner drill. Now, a more intermediate drill could be where you're controlling the sleeves, and this time you already have your grips on the outside, but you have both feet onto the hips as such. Okay, so now we're gonna bring one leg over the shoulder. Second thing we're gonna do is drive our hips up in the air and then pull the arm in, and then we're gonna lock here. Okay, and then we'll start the position again. From this position here, we're gonna take one foot out, drive the arm on the inside, and notice how I'm gonna push off his hip so I can drive my hips up and then lock from here. That's just a coordination drill once again. And then we just keep going from here. 1, come back. 2, pull him in. Come back. 3, pull him in and come back. And you could do rounds or reps of this position as well. Now moving forward, what we're going to do is actually show you guys a context where you can actually attack the triangle choke in a live situation. So the first thing you want to do is capitalize on getting a cross grip here. And now we're going to go with the 2-on-1 control as such. I like this type of control. There's many options to control from the guard position, but this is a good one because by doing the 2-on-1, it's almost like a collar and sleeve where he can't use his dominant arm. But most times when I get this, now when I continue my attack, such as maybe using the open guard position, my opponent may stand up. So as he stands up here, I want to be able to continue controlling here, using my foot onto the hip to control the distance, and also being aware that he's going to try to bring his arm inside my leg, and I have to capitalize on going back to my 2-on-1 from here. Now, every time I notice that my opponent's going to have a broken posture, meaning that his head is down, all right? Now I can capitalize on bringing my hips to him And now from here, catching the triangle choke and locking to finalize the submission. All right, so one more time. If we were here in the closed guard position, maybe the opponent has a grip on you from here. Now look, I'm gonna open up the sleeve, boom, from here. Notice how you grab, you never grab from the inside. So we're gonna grab here, thumb opens up the slack. Notice how the four fingers come in, thumb comes out, and now you have a nice latch. You're gonna bring the other palm underneath and break the grip. Okay, now from here, sometimes you can also bring the palm on the opposite side so it doesn't re-grip, and now you're ready for your 2-on-1 control. I like this one here. You don't want to just control on the elbow, go control where the armpit is. All right, now he decides to stand up. This time I decide to open the guard from here. See, that's another option. Push the hips and I'll control just like a collar and sleeve guard. Now if he pummels his hand, we're gonna re-pummel our foot, control here. Notice how the posture is broken. That is your trigger point for the triangle choke. Notice how I'm gonna drive my hips towards his head and I'm gonna lock here, and from there, finalize the triangle choke. Now, every time we're working this 2-on-1 sleeve control, you have to understand that if you're playing the open guard position from here, for example, the opponent stands up and now the posture is a little bit higher. So Alex, notice how he's trying to pull the arm out, his head is higher. Now it's gonna be very difficult for me to catch that triangle choke. So we can switch tactics and go for sweeps instead. So one easy one is just to let go this one and grab his foot right here, the near side foot. So notice how you're controlling the 2-on-1, let go where the armpit, trap the ankle. Now the foot that's controlling the bicep is gonna find its way right behind this knee here. So notice how I have the tripod position, 1, 2. Now I'm gonna push onto his hip, grab the ankle and pull my right foot, 1. And now from here, easily get into position to pass. So once again, from this angle here, as you'll notice, I showed it in 3 steps, but in reality, when you're controlling here, you wanna be able to bring everything at once. Okay, so from this position here, boom. And now notice when I sweep him, boom. Now I have the arm here. As I pass, I can easily swim right into an armbar position. Now sometimes from here you can also sweep in a different fashion. What we're gonna do now is let go this so we can grab here, but watch my feet. The first option was behind his knee. In this instance, what we're gonna do is switch our hips so I can kick here and bring this leg behind him, all right? So notice he can move the opposite leg, but not the near side leg. And this is gonna facilitate this type of sweep. So now as I come up, I can start my knee cross pass and control and finalize. So here we are, we have the 2-on-1 sleeve control. This time, you're gonna grab the ankle and notice how I'm gonna switch my hips and also facilitate switching of my feet. So this one is gonna come to the hip. Now this one is gonna sweep him under. Now as I pull him up, I'm gonna set up my knee cross pass. All right guys, so there you have it, some jiu-jitsu techniques for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Leave us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you
in the next video.
Take care.